Blobby, oh Mr Blobby, if only you could make us understand. Mr Blobby is defined by Wikipedia as the personification of evil and the objectification of a hostile and destructive force. Oh no, sorry, that was the devil. Let's try that again. Mr Blobby is a character that appeared on Noels House Party from autumn 1992 as a device for Noel to carry out one of his hilarious gotchas, where what he would do, he would catch out a celebrity each week in a set-up scenario. Unfortunately for all concerned, Mr Blobby was incredibly popular. He debuted in October 92. By Christmas 1993, he had the Christmas #1 in the charts. He was a complete phenomenon, and one that far outlived the show he was on, still appearing today on TV shows. Of course, Mr Blobby devotees such as myself regard the true Blobby to be the one portrayed by Barry Killerby, but he stepped down in 2015, and now we have the heretic Blobby that we don't discuss. So, being a Noel Edmonds venture, of course, Mr Blobby was cashed in on over and over and over again, which naturally meant there'd be a computer game, Joy. And Millennium released Mr Blobby the computer game at the end of 1994 on the Amiga and the PC. And yes, we start with the Mr Blobby theme. Blobby, oh Mr Blobby, if only you could make us understand. So here's Mr Blobby, well this is Mrs Blobby, baby Blobby, and Mr Blobby there himself. How Mr Blobby managed to conceive a child, I have no idea. And how the child hasn't been taken away by the social services, or indeed is that big to get in a pram? Anyway, there was a Mr Blobby theme park. It didn't go well. In fact, there were two. Game coded by Paul Carter. Apparently has something to do with the original Hunchback game. You can enter a password to start off at any level, edit the controls, or you can start the game. Levels are designed by Timothy Kloss, a name you'll remember from Eyeball. I think he's not only the coder of Eyeball, but the guy who goes Eyeball. So you start off in Mr Blobby's living room, and you can run around while the other baby Blobby and Mrs Blobby are asleep. So what Mr Blobby has to do is colour the levels by running around. And somebody will already be putting into the comments, but this is just a reskinned Super Troll Island from the SNES, isn't it? And the answer is yes, but we'll come to that. So you just run over the landscape to make it colourful, avoid the baddies. You can pick things up, eat them, or throw them. So just going to get time this right for the top there. The controls are awful. They are absolutely diabolical. Mr Blobby has inertia, moves far too quickly, jumps far too high in the air, although you can control the jump height he jumps by how long you hold the fire button down for. Mr Blobby can also transform himself into a whirlwind to destroy all the enemies on the screen, something that, I don't know where that came from, but it's come from the Trolls game, obviously, because it's not something Mr Blobby does. Okay, so... yeah, ooh. Ooh. Right, Mr Blobby is, ejecting liquids. Is the best way I can describe it. What do we do with that? Do we kill them? Do we go up here and jump on top of it? Oh, I think when they're squidged, what is Mr Blobby squirting out? Right. I've got a hat now. I've got a hat. Controls are horrible. Get down out the way. Collect the shells. We go in the water, which is brown, but Mr Blobby is quite happy to swim around in raw sewage. It's it's weird at the top. It's because you have to jump in. That's weird. That's like it's a bug or something, because Why wouldn't you cover the... There. Eggs down there. What's that, a pair of pants? I've got to throw my hat. I've got a pair of pants. I've got a pair of pants. Mr Blobby's stealing underpants. It's Benny Hill's madcap chase all over again. All the pants are sinking. Over to the PC. Now, this game came out in 1994, at the end of the year, actually into 95, so a DX4 100 would be a reasonable system to run this on, wouldn't it? But no, it just seizes up on my system. Just keeps pausing until you hold a key down and it works a bit more. I had to slow the computer down to 33 megahertz before the game ran at the speed you see now. And even then, it still sometimes freezes in the menu. It's dialog attack all over again. It's been hard-coded for a particular CPU speed or simply can't cope with, well, yeah. We've got ad-lib sound though, and it's actually quite good. Guess who did the music? Guess who did the music on this game? It's Richard Joseph. This seems like, well, yeah, it's a surprise. Right, so we've got some things there. The colour schemes on the PC are slightly different from the Amiga, because you don't have the copper effects. I've completed the level. When you complete a level on the PC, the level turns to blobby colours. You're trying to defeat an evil mist that has taken over the land in a plot that's been lifted from Troll Island. So here we are in a castle. There's no link to House Party on this. You would have thought they would have tried to link it in so that, oh look, you're running around Noel's great house or Crinkley Bottom. But no, we don't get any of that. Back onto the Amiga on the castle level. Well, the Amiga version seems faster, perhaps. I should have run the PC a bit faster, but 33 megahertz seems to be the sweet spot for actually getting it to run reliably without seizing up. And I say it's genuine hardware, DX4 Dell laptop. But hey-ho, that's PC gaming for you, isn't it? Right. I'm Mrs Blobby now. You can swap between any of the three characters at any time. Oh, goodness me, she's got a gun. The Blobby family are armed. Who signed off giving the Blobby family firearms? I mean, I know Noel's got a funny idea about health and safety, but actually arming Mrs Blobby? The samples used in the game, well, they remind me of all the Flare games like Oscar and the original Trolls, but this is a different development company, and I can't see any crossover in personnel. But yeah, it's very kind of generic sample pack. And now I'm on the PC as Baby Blobby, and I'm using the whirlwind effect, and you're invulnerable when you're the whirlwind, except I've got a gun again. Perhaps it's a water pistol. Yeah, it's water. Let's oh, there we go. Well, the baby Blobby gets a water pistol. I don't know what the adults get. I've died. Game over. Now we've got a demonstration of when the game seizes up on me. It starts counting down. The counting gets a bit erratic on the PC. And we get to here too, and until I press the keys down, where it suddenly wakes up again and goes faster. So I mentioned Super Troll Island, so here we are on the SNES, just so we can see the original game. So it's the same game. CMVG gave Super Troll Island 83%. But more modern reviewers don't seem to have been as kind. In fact, it's on YouTube. This is one of the worst SNES games ever. I don't think it's that bad. Well, if you pay 40 quid, you might think it's that bad. It's the same game we've seen with all the same inertia problems. Mr Blobby is a reskin game, in effect. Perhaps Millennium were thinking of bringing out Super Troll Island on the PC and the Amiga and went, no, we've got the Mr Blobby license, so we can just use that instead. I mean, to be fair, Mr Blobby's going to sell more than Trolls. Back onto the Amiga, where the scrolling is particularly bad. It's not that it's not smooth, it just seems very... There's something about it that doesn't seem right. Mr Blobby is ejecting liquids onto... Is it pies? No, okay. Oh, is that K9? Reviews. Amiga Power gave this 37%. That was John Nash, and he had a very entertaining review, which sums up my thoughts really on the game. There was a moment in the embarrassingly shabby Mr Blobby when I felt things weren't that bad. I'd be playing for about 3 hours on a single credit and completed maybe a third of the game's 60 levels when I felt myself no longer actively hating it. And that's it. It's bad, but you start playing it for a while and you stop hating it because you get used to the abysmal controls. And you don't know how much the level you have to colour in. See, every platform is coloured, the ladders are coloured or uncoloured. You can't always see where you've left out. So you end up running around the levels, and some of them are quite big, trying to find what you've left out. And you don't know what the objectives are because there's no status display on the screen. All you've got is the number of cakes you can throw, number of pants / whirlwinds you have, and a score. And Mr Blobby never says his famous catchphrase, "Blobby, blobby, blobby!" But the thing is, what's Mr Blobby famous for? Falling over, smashing into things, and going, "Blobby, blobby, blobby." And he doesn't do any of this in the game. That's shoddy. Who did they even watch an episode of Noels House Party when they pasted Mr Blobby over their terrible troll graphic? It doesn't make sense. Amiga Action, who you'd expect to give this kind of game 99%, actually gave it 46%, and The One gave it 33%. The Mr Blobby website claims that the game was well loved by fans. Yeah. I like the springs. The springs you can actually keep on bouncing to get higher and higher and higher. There's a Mr Blobby poster included with the game, and on the back of it, it says that if you send £10 plus your original copy of Mr Blobby to Millennium, they will send you in return an AGA Amiga 1200 version of Mr Blobby. Yeah. Incidentally, this is the last regular episode of ChinnyVision of 2022. There'll be special bonus episodes scattered throughout the Christmas period, and regular Thursday night videos will return on the 12th of January. Back to the PC. If I am running the game too slowly on the PC, a 33MHz machine would have been perfectly standard at the end of 94, beginning of 95. Well, I mean, getting on for a little bit slow, but good enough. I mean, DX266s were the order of the day in 95, weren't they? But never mind, I've completed the level there. But the controls are so erratic and horrible that if the game is running slowly, it's making it for a better experience. Like Jay Nash says, it's not... You stop hating it. You think, well, it's kind of for a PC game, it's kind of competent. It just wears you down. But you wouldn't come back to this. This is a bonus level now. And we have sausage on forks, like the Grain Chill titles. What do I have to do? Yeah. It's just has Noel been hawking around the license and Millennium have picked it up? Or did they go looking for a Mr Blobby game? Because they couldn't license Trolls or something on a different format? I don't know. I mean, Trolls is a weird enough one. I know there was a revival around this time, but not a big enough one to justify a computer game, surely. Oh, this is still happening. Ah, oh, falling down again. It's like a really... I love up-to-jump games. I love Zub. This ain't doing it for me. Because of the inertia on the character. It's just horrible. Right, that's the bonus level done, thank goodness. Right. The treasure. I don't know what percentage of the treasure I've got either. So not only do I not know how much the... on the PC, it doesn't have that thing where it doesn't colour in the top of the water. Which is something, I suppose. One good thing about the game is the password system. You can, if you have the password, you can jump into any of the 60 levels. Which has made this review far easier to do. Because I've not had to play it all the way through and not even needed to find a trainer or anything. It's just you find the level codes and you can jump in at any point. And while I'm playing this dross, I should also thank the ChinnyVision Patreon supporters who kindly give me the freedom to run this channel ad-free in a way I see fit. So thank you to them. Details for that if you want to join up in the description below. There's also the ChinnyVision podcast and ChinnyVision 2. Again, links in the description below. So another level here. And it's a whirlwind. You can actually colour in the spikes. I imagine spikes are not good for blobbies because they are, in fact, just latex costumes that could be easily punctured. I mean, I'm trying to think of good things to say. It's better than the Trolls game, definitely. Mr Blobby is more suited to this type of game than the Trolls as well. You can't jump on baddies to kill them, which seems remiss in a game from 1995. You just would have thought that's such a standard thing by now that you better jump or shoot baddies. Or kill them with the liquids that you eject. Back on the Amiga. It could as well be, because I'm running on an A1200, that it's accelerated, the game's running a bit too fast. But to be honest, I don't really care, I just want to get through this. This is the game's last level. And the last level has 3 crowns on it that apparently... Well, you can wear one of the crowns there, but... Is one character supposed to wear each crown? I don't know. Perhaps that's how you win the game. Let's wake up Mrs Blobby. And she's got a crown on now. So perhaps baby Blobby needs to put the crown on here on level 60. And then I've won the game, perhaps. No. I don't think so. Go back to the house. Is that winning the game? Nope. No, you lose the crown. That's nothing to do with it. There's 3 crowns. I don't know why. I've gone back into the game and I've respawned into the scenery. This is something the Amiga Power Review mentions. The game will do this. You'll get stuck in scenery. And you'll go back to the house and change characters. And you will still be stuck in the scenery. Yeah. I mean, it's taken me this long. It's taken me the best part of 90 minutes of gameplay on both these versions to find this bug, but it is well known about, so I'm surprised it's taken this long. Mr Blobby is a grubby, shabby cash-in converted from a grubby, shabby game, Super Troll Island. You might say this game was just for kids, but I'd say kids deserve better than horrible inertia, appalling controls, and not being told how much of the level they've actually completed. They could have done something innovative here. They could have linked into House Party, done something linked with The Great House and Crinkley Bottom, but no, we get a reskinned Super Troll Island, a game that never set the world alight to begin with. And the thing is, Mr Blobby doesn't even do what Mr Blobby's supposed to do. Fall over all the time, smash into things, and go blobby, blobby, blobby. It's mind-boggling. You've got one kind of set of criteria of just depict Mr Blobby in a game, but you just get him in the game instead of a troll, just not really being Mr Blobby. And the more you play it, you just begin to accept it's exceptionally poor, and you just get on with it, and you find yourself grinding through the game and not thinking, well, it's not terrible. It's not terrible, it's passing the time, in the same way that when you're stuck in a doctor's waiting room for a long time, you pick up a magazine that you'd never normally read just to kill time, just to make time go past. And frankly, this is the gaming equivalent of Woman's Own. The thing is that the only reason Mr Blobby is in this game is because nobody would have taken a second look at that awful Trolls game, because no one cared about Trolls. We could stick Mr Blobby into this engine and people go, Mr Blobby, I'll buy that. That is unforgivable. And this isn't just Millennium I'm talking about that perpetrated this shabby, grubby game, but also BBC Enterprises and Noel Edmonds' company, Unique. Shame on the lot of you for shoveling this crap out on the public. Blobby, blobby, blobby!